Good afternoon. I'm Leslie Earhart with the Tennessee Bureau of The status is the same as it was on Monday when we last held a media briefing. We're still trying to find 1 week and 2 days since she went missing. There's still two aspects of this case, the active search and the investigation. You'll hear more about the search in just a minute. TBI agents and Hawkins County detectives working alongside the FBI continue to work around the clock to determine what happened to Summerwells. In order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, we can't discuss everything we're doing and have done to find Summer. Here's what we can tell you. Numerous residents and individuals associated with the family have been interviewed. Surveillance video and photos have been reviewed, as well as other potential digital evidence. We're still working to identify everyone in the area on the afternoon that Summer went missing. One of you asked us in a previous briefing the standard amount of time it takes for a case like this to be resolved. While every case is different, this one is definitely outside of the norm. Typically, in an investigation like this one, we have some idea of where the case is headed and what might have happened within a few days. In this situation, despite doing everything within our power and exploring all avenues, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear. I understand the lack of answers frustrates you in the public, but trust me, no one is more frustrated than we are. If we develop information that will lead to locating Summer, we will share that with you first and foremost. In the meantime, we ask anyone with information who hasn't come forward to please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. I'll turn it over to Sheriff Ronnie Lawson.
Thank you. Just to go along with Leslie, I know there's a lot of social media going on out there, a lot of detectives going on, but they're absolutely useless unless these...
Sorry. Just had to pause that real quick. Holy crap, you guys. Do you think they have no idea still? Dang. I mean, I would hope they have some idea after all this time.
People that's 100% positive calls 1-800-TBI-FIND. That means nothing. We're monitoring all social media and everything that you all put out from people that y'all interview. And I assure you, you'd have to work very hard to find somebody that we have talked to. They may not tell you. One point I want to make clear up, obviously, is a couple of days ago, I asked for the public not to help us in our search in the woods and stuff. That is because we know where every searcher is, where every team is, and the captain and his staff, they're tracking everyone. So if we get the general public in the woods, we don't know about it, and they're going to get missed when they go home or don't go home. So it's going to be somebody else. So we have to generate time and information and resources to find. What I did ask for, and I still need, is all the people in Upper Beach Creek, Hawkins, and Sullivan County to search their property again and again. You got to look for a small child. You have to look for evidence of a small child's been. And if you got field cameras, if you got security cameras, we need you to check those again. Just keep checking them and checking them. We're trying to find every vehicle that's in this holler they're living since we started this. And we also did a roadblock, which helped at the same time that she was reported missing, to see if we come in contact with somebody that's been working that we can see. Obviously, there's nothing came out of that, but it's just another tool that we've used to make this happen. So if the general public that lives in this area will go back and search their outbuildings or barns or hay fields, now it's mowing season, so when they mow, they need to pay attention. And if you have a resident that cannot search their property themselves, they'll call my office at 423-272-4848. I will send an officer to your residence to search your property for you. It's a cooperation we must need. I know some of the residents probably get frustrated with seeing the officers, but the Mr. Captain, I'll tell you, we've had very intense operations all week long for 9 days now. And we're not done yet because, like I told you from day one, it's about finding summer. That's the number one goal here. Yep.
Thanks, Sheriff. As of June 24th, 2021, search and rescue efforts for missing 5-year-old Summer Wells continues. We have now utilized 106 agencies spanning from Tennessee, Ohio, Virginia, Alabama, Georgia, and North Carolina assisting in these search efforts. Numerous specialized search and rescue groups with numerous canine teams have been represented from each of these agencies. To date, we have covered over 4.6 square miles, with that being over 3,000 acres being searched since Tuesday night when she was reported missing. The rugged mountainous terrain continues to cause problems. This has slowed search operations down in these areas, but please be rest assured, while incurring these conditions, we are still searching with an aggressive approach with extreme attention to detail. These terrains and conditions have exhausted crews both physically and mentally. We are still utilizing local and regional resources, but have had to call upon and utilize resources from Middle and West Tennessee, along with out-of-state resources to bring a fresh set of eyes and rested bodies into the search operations. Search efforts will continue on a more specialized team basis throughout the rest of the week. Just because you may not see us in such a large presence, once again, rest assured, we are still out here searching for Summer Wells. We will continue to work with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, TBI, and FBI until we find Summer Wells. As mentioned before, as Sheriff here mentioned, please continue to search your personal property. Sullivan County, Hawkins County, mainly the Big Street community, and even if you branch a little bit further, please search. And I've been telling these searchers here the last several days, when you're looking for this property, you're not looking for an adult laying there. You're not looking for an adult hiding in the building. We're looking for a 5-year-old girl that weighed approximately 40 pounds. Somebody that size could wad up, could hide in an area that a legal size piece of paper or a folded up laptop could go. This is also the reason why we're exhausting all efforts. This terrain, as you can see behind us, guys, is only a small, very small percentage of what these guys day in and day out are going through. I've had multiple of my guys come up to me and tell me, Captain, I'll go to the end, but I'm tired. I'm physically and I'm mentally tired. We are all one team, and we will not quit until we find Summer Wells. Thank you.
We'll take a few questions. Have you searched some of these areas over and over again numerous times, some of these fields and things like that? Absolutely. Captain, can you answer that question?
Yes, so over these 4.6 square miles, and I'm kind of elaborating on some of these specialized teams. There's some of these areas, guys, we have covered 4, 5, and 6 times. And we have community members, media outlets reaching out going, well, we have neighbors saying you're covering the same ground. We are. New ground, same ground, different eyes, fresh bodies. Guys, one flat looking field, there's 100 places something to be hid, evidence, and or she could be hid. So yes, we have covered multiple ground multiple times, and we'll continue to do so.
Captain Coop, I know some reward has been talked about. I know your agency, Churchill Rescue Squad, is heavily in charge of that. Can you give us some details on what the reward looks like right now?
Yes, so there has been some people that have reached out to our agency, reached out to TBI and Sheriff's Department about providing reward money for information leading up to the finding and or recovery of Summer Wells. At this time, I can confirm that is correct and that our agency is working to get this account set up. Once this information is
awesome.
available, our agency will provide a media release with this information on how the general public can also give money for this. But at the same point in time, guys, we're running on limited resources and we're trying everything we can do that without interfering with the search for Summer Wells.
Leslie, at this point in the search and investigation, do you believe Summer Wells is still alive?
Sorry. How how is setting up like a GoFundMe or something like doesn't make sense to me. How just setting up a fund for people to send money to would interfere with the search.
We hope so, but honestly, we just don't know. I mean, we're holding out hope, doing everything we can. Obviously, we typically would have found a child at this stage in the investigation, so honestly, we just don't know.
How many tips has the TBI received so far?
I don't have the exact number with me, but it's well over 300 at this point.
I know we've all spoken with the families and they talked about sort of what led up to that missing incident here. Can you just sort of elaborate on what you guys know for sure happened before she was missing that Tuesday night?
We can't release any more than what we've already provided. We know that she was supposedly with family members outside of her home, was seen going into the home. When her mother went to check on her, she was not in the house.
Sheriff, I know you mentioned before that you haven't had to obtain any search warrants. Is that still the case?
My office has not obtained any search warrants, and I really don't know if the other agencies has. I've been coordinating with the captain here and the investigators. They're all working together, and we haven't briefed each other this afternoon.
What about lie detector tests? Has anybody been getting those?
I think she can address this.
Well, it's no secret that the TBI has a polygraph unit. We don't discuss specifics, but I can tell you that we use that as an investigative tool. In a situation like this, we're going to use every resource and tool available to us.
There's been billboards seen in Myrtle Beach. Are you guys aware of that? Has the search taken you guys out of state to some extent?
We follow up on all leads that come in, even if they're out of state. We have received some tips from other states, but they didn't prove to be credible leads. We are aware of the billboards. That's not something the TBI coordinates, but we appreciate the effort.
Leslie, are cadaver dogs being used as part of the canine team being brought in?
Absolutely, yes.
No law enforcement outside of the house today. Any reason for that?
There's no reason. We have had agents and officers to just touch base with the family on a daily basis. So they were there earlier. The family continues to cooperate at this time. If we have questions, they answer our questions. If we need them to come to the command post to clarify some information, they respond. So they've been very cooperative.
Speaking of the command post, we have noticed some larger FBI presence as well, including like an FBI police called the team.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just elaborate a little bit on their role in this investigation? What do they do?
They're just another resource available. Now, I would refer you to the FBI for specifics on what that team does, but they specialize in missing children cases. And again, we're using all resources available. They've been here since last weekend, and we were in communication with them before last weekend. So it's just another resource, and we're grateful for any help we can get.
Leslie, now on day 10, do you guys feel like you have more information, better informed than you did on day 1 Tuesday night?
We don't. We still don't know where Summer is. We don't know what happened to her, and it's extremely frustrating. I can't tell you how heartbreaking it is. The sheriff has worked around the clock. His team's worked around the clock. The search crews, TBI agents, FBI agents, we're doing everything we can to find her, but to not have any more answers than we do at this stage, it's just heartbreaking.
Have you been able to narrow down the timeline anymore?
Not any more than what we originally released. We know that her family reported her missing. They called the sheriff's office around 6:30. Prior to that, it was early afternoon when she was last seen, and they searched for a little bit and then reported her missing.
How many hours did you say?
I don't have that information.
Question for Captain or Sheriff, what's the biggest obstacle standing in your way? Is it the heat? Is it just the fatigue? Is it the terrain? What do you think is the number one thing that's hurting you guys in this investigation?
To say hurt this investigation on my aspect of things, nothing's hurting us. We encounter difficult situations so far, and we overcome them situations. From here on out, it is going to be providing our team the rest and assurance to make sure that we can provide more and more fresh body, fresh eyes to be able to come in and help search for Summerwells.
As far as my office, it's been pretty hard because my office don't stop. we're still answering calls, still doing investigations that come in, and we're still running the jail, but I'm alternating the officers out. Like's been said, everyone, the command post been there this week, everyone now is getting mentally, physically, and emotionally just drained. And we're going to have to rehab and start back again, but we're not going to stop. We're going to find something.
Is there anything the community can do to help you guys at this point? I know that everyone's been bringing food and water and stuff like that. Is there anything else that you guys need?
Actually, I think they've done everything they possibly could. We've even getting fresh home-cooked meals from churches and things brought in, and we have meals for all the officers and searchers and investigators, but enormous outpour of the support shown by this community and actually people here in East Tennessee. We're very pleased.
Hey guys, thank you for coming out. I know a couple of you had questions asking why we are not having daily media briefings. The simple answer is we just haven't had any new information to provide. But just because we don't have a briefing doesn't mean that you can't reach out to us and ask any questions you may have. And of course, we are going to continue to post updates on Twitter and the TBI Facebook page. And feel free to check with us if you have any additional questions or need clarification. Thank you. Take care.
Sorry, guys. I have to hear that one more time.
All right, guys, as it was on Monday when we last held a media briefing. We're still trying to find Summer. It's now been 1 week and 2 days since she went missing. There's still two aspects of this case, the active search and the investigation. You'll hear more about the search in just a minute. TBI agents and Hawkins County detectives working alongside the FBI continue to work around the clock to determine what happened to Summerwells. In order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, we can't discuss everything we're doing and have done. Numerous residents and individuals associated with the family have been interviewed. Surveillance video and photos have been reviewed, as well as other potential digital evidence. We're still working to identify everyone in the area on the afternoon that Summer went missing. One of you asked us in a previous briefing the standard amount of time it takes for a case like this to be resolved. While every case is different, this one is definitely outside of the norm. Typically, in an investigation like this one, we have some idea of where the case is headed and what might have happened within a few days. In this situation, despite doing everything within our power and exploring all avenues, the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain unclear. I understand the lack of answers frustrates you in the public, but trust me, no one is more frustrated than we are. If we develop information that will lead to locating Summer, we will share that with you first and foremost. In the meantime, we ask anyone with information who hasn't come forward to please call 1-800-TBI-FIND. I'll turn it over to Sheriff Ronnie Lawson.
Thank you. Just to go along with Leslie, I know there's a lot of social media going on out there, a lot of detectives going on, but they're absolutely useless unless these people that's 100% positive calls 1-800-TBI-FIND. It means nothing. We're monitoring all social media and everything that you all put out from people that y'all interviewed. And I assure you, you'd have to work very hard to find somebody that we haven't talked to. They may not tell you. One point I want to make clear up, obviously, is a couple of days ago, I asked for the public not to help us in our search in the woods and stuff. That is because we know where every searcher is, where every team is, and the captain and his staff, they're tracking everyone. So if we get the general public in the woods, we don't know about it, then they're going to get missed when they go home or don't go home. So it's going to be somebody else that we have to generate time and information and resources to find. What I did ask for, and I still need, is all the people in Upper Beach Creek, Hawkins, and Sullivan County to search their property again and again. You got to look for a small child. You have to look for evidence of a small child's been. And If you got
So there, it kind of sounds to me like, I mean, so there, it kind of sounds like, you know, you got to look for evidence of where a smile child's been. So there, it kind of sounds as if he's saying, Summer, there's possibility Summer wandered away on her own.
field cameras,
Obviously, they think that's still in play.
if you got security cameras, we need you to check those again. Just keep checking them and checking them. We're trying to find every vehicle that's in this holler they're living since we started this. And we also did a roadblock, which helped at the same time that she was reported missing, to see if we come in contact with somebody that's been working that we could see. Obviously, there's nothing came out of that, but it's just another tool that we've used to make this happen. So if the general public that lives in this area will go back and search their outbuildings, their barns, their hay fields, now it's mowing season, so when they mow, they need to pay attention. And if you have a resident that cannot search their property themselves, they'll call my office at 423-272-4848. I will send an officer to your residence to search your property for you. It's a cooperation we must need. I know some of the residents probably get frustrated with seeing the officers, but as a captain, I'll tell you, we've had very intense operations all week long for 9 days now, and we're not done yet. Because, like I told you from day one, it's about finding Summer. That's the number one goal here. Yep.
Thanks, Sheriff. As of June 24th, 2021, search and rescue efforts for missing 5-year-old Summer Wells continues. We have now utilized 106 agencies spanning from Tennessee, Ohio, Virginia, Alabama, Georgia, and North Carolina assisting in these search efforts. Numerous specialized search and rescue groups with numerous canine teams have been represented from each of these agencies. To date, we have covered over 4.6 square miles, with that being over 3,000 acres being searched since Tuesday night when she was reported missing. The rugged mountainous terrain continues to cause problems. This has slowed search operations down in these areas, but please be rest assured, while incurring these conditions, we are still searching with an aggressive approach with extreme attention to detail. These terrains and conditions have exhausted crews both physically and mentally. We are still utilizing local and regional resources, but have had to call upon and utilize resources from Middle and West Tennessee, along with out-of-state resources, to bring a fresh set of eyes and rested bodies into the search operations. Search efforts will continue on a more specialized team basis throughout the rest of the week.
So they're going to search all week. That's awesome. Like, that's amazing. So happy to hear that.
Just because you may not see us in such a large presence, once again, rest assured, we are still out here searching for Summer Wells.
Good. So it's targeted.
We will continue to work with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department, TBI, and FBI until we find Summer Wells.
So then who is we? Who's the guy right there? Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, TBI, and FBI. Then who's talking? Anybody know?
As mentioned before, as Sheriff here mentioned, please continue to search your personal property. Sullivan County, Hawkins County, mainly the Beach Creek community, and even if you branch a little bit further, please search. And I've been telling these searchers here the last several days, when you're looking for this property, you're not looking for adult laying there. You're not looking for adult hiding in the building. We're looking for a 5-year-old girl that weighed approximately 40 pounds. Somebody that size could wad up, could hide in an area that a legal size piece of paper or a folded up laptop could go. This is also the reason why we are exhausting all efforts. This train, as you can see behind us, guys, is only a small, very small percentage of what these guys day in and day out are going through. I've had multiple of my guys come up to me and tell me, Captain, I'll go to the end, but I'm tired. I'm physically and I'm mentally tired. We are all one team, and we will not quit until we find Summerwells. Thank you.
We'll take a few.
Questions?
Have you searched some of these areas over and over again numerous times, some of these fields and things like that?
Absolutely. Captain, can you answer that question?
Yeah, so over these 4.6 square miles, and I'm kind of elaborating on some of these specialized teams. There's some of these areas, guys, we have covered 4, 5, and 6 times. And we have community members, media outlets reaching out going, well, we have neighbors saying you're covering the same ground. We are. New ground, same ground, different eyes, fresh bodies. Guys, one flat-looking field, there's 100 places something to be hid, evidence, and or she could be hidden. So yes, we have covered multiple ground multiple times, and we'll continue to do so.
Captain Coop, I know the board has been talked about. I know.
Strange. So, I mean, man. So at first they were alluding to her wandering away, saying, look for places she could have been. And then he is alluding to look for evidence and places someone could have hid her. So, man, they really, now it's kind of sounding like they really are clueless.
Your agency, Churchill Rescue Squad, is currently in charge of that. Can you give us some details on what the work looks like right now?
Yes, so there has been some people that have reached out to our agency, reached out to TBI and Sheriff's Department about providing reward money for information leading up to the finding and or recovery of Summerwells. At this time, I can confirm that is correct and that our agency is working to get this account set up. Once this information is available, our agency will provide a media release with this information on how the general public can also give money for this. But at the same point in time, guys, we're running on limited resources and we're trying everything we can do that without interfering with the search for Summerwells.
Okay, but that is important. And I'll tell you why that's important. People want to help. People want to help, and people are going to donate. And if they don't set up a fund for people to donate so that there can be a reward fund, even now, like for people to donate, then people are going to just get scammed. It's just going to set up a vacuum for scammers and con artists. You can see them even popping up now all over the place, and people are just going to get scammed because people want to help. And if you're not going to let them help search, at least let them help, at least let them send money. It's really not that hard to set up a bank account. I just don't see how that's a problem.
Leslie, at this point in the search and investigation, do you believe Summerwells is still alive?
We hope so, but honestly, we just don't know. I mean, we're holding out hope, doing everything we can. Obviously, we typically would have found a child at this stage in the investigation, so honestly, we just don't know.
How many kids have you guys so far?
I don't have the exact number with me, but it's well over 300 at this point.
I know we've all spoken with the family.
I didn't quite hear that. How many kids? I'm not sure what they said. How many kids have they found? Maybe? Is that what they said? How many kids? She's like, it's well over 300. I'm not sure how many kids. Anyways, how many kids have they found? I'm not sure.
Over 300 at this point.
I know we've all spoken with the family.
Anybody here?
I don't have the exact number with me, but it's well over 300 at this point.
I know we've all spoken.
Found a child at this stage in the investigation, so honestly, we just found a child at this stage in the investigation, so honestly, we just don't know.
How many tips has the TBI received so far?
I don't have
Tips.
the exact number with me, but it's
Tips.
well over 300 at this
Sorry.
point.
How many tips has TBI received?
And then talked about sort of what led up to that missing incident here. Can you just sort of elaborate on what you guys know for sure happened before
That's it.
she went missing that Tuesday night?
We can't release any more than what we've already provided. We know that she was supposedly with family members outside of her home.
That's
seen going
interesting.
into the home, when her mother went to check.
Hang on. That's interesting. That lady said supposedly. That's interesting language for a spokesperson. I haven't heard her say that before. You guys think that's interesting? That she said supposedly? Let me see. Did y'all see? Yeah, I did. Support Candace Fly and her family. The odds of Rose being missing 300 what? It was 300 tips. Amen. The honest truth. Okay. That was strange. She said supposedly, which means she doesn't exactly. I think she doesn't. She doesn't
on her,
either.
she was not in the house.
I'm gonna rewind that a little bit
I know you
so you
mentioned
guys
before
can
that
hear
you
it again.
had to obtain any search warrants.
Mother went to check on her. She was not in the house.
Tuesday night.
We can't have the exact number with me, but it's well over 300 at this point.
I know we've all spoken with the family and then talked about sort of what led up to that missing incident here. Can you just sort of elaborate on what you guys know for sure happened before she went missing that Tuesday night?
We can't release any more than what we've already provided. We know that she was supposedly with family members outside of her home, was seen going into the home. When her mother went to check on her, she was not in the house.
She said, we know she was supposedly with family members outside of the home. When she went into the home, yeah, just
When her mother went to check on her, she was not in the house.
okay. When her mother went to check on her, she was not in the house. Okay.
Sheriff, I know you mentioned before that you haven't had to obtain any search warrants. Is that still the case?
My office has not obtained any search warrants, and I really don't know if the other agencies has. I've been coordinating with the captain here and the investigators. They're all working together, and we haven't briefed each other this afternoon.
What about lie detector tests? Has anybody been given those?
I think she can address this.
Well, it's no secret that the TBI has a polygraph unit. We don't discuss specifics, but I can tell you that we use that as an investigative tool. In a situation like this, we're going to use every resource and tool available to us.
There's been billboards seen in Myrtle Beach. Are you guys aware of that? Has the search taken you guys even out of state to some extent?
We follow up on all leads that come in, even if they're out of state. We have received some tips from other states, but they didn't prove to be credible leads. We are aware of the billboards. That's not something the TBI coordinates, but we appreciate the effort.
Leslie, are cadaver dogs being used as part of the canine team being brought in?
Absolutely, yes.
No law enforcement outside of the house today. Any reason for that?
There's no reason. We have had agents and officers to just touch base with the family on a daily basis. So they were there earlier. The family continues to cooperate at this time. If we have questions, they answer our questions. If we need them to come to the command.
One thing that's pretty obvious is that they're not saying that the parents are suspects. I mean, they're saying everybody's a suspect, obviously, but they're also saying that it's good possibility that Summer could have wandered off. So be careful. Let's all keep an open mind because they obviously are.
And post to
You know.
clarify some information, they respond. So they've been very cooperative.
Speaking of the command post, we have noticed some larger FBI presence as well, including like an FBI People's Public Art team. Could you just elaborate a little bit on their role in this investigation? What do they do?
They're just another resource available. Now, I would refer you to the FBI for specifics on what that team does, but they specialize in missing children cases. And again, we're using all resources available. They've been here since last weekend, and we were in communication with them before last weekend. So it's just another resource, and we're grateful for any help we can get.
Leslie, now on day 10, you guys feel like you have more information, better informed than you did on day 1 Tuesday night?
We still don't know where Summer is. We don't know what happened to her, and it's extremely frustrating. I can't tell you how heartbreaking it is. The sheriff has worked around the clock. His team's worked around the clock. The search crews, TBI agents, FBI agents, we're doing everything we can to find her, but to not have any more answers than we do at this stage, it's just heartbreaking.
Have you been able to narrow down the timeline any more than what she was missing?
Not any more than what we originally released. We know that her family reported her missing. They called the sheriff's office around 6:30. Prior to that, it was early afternoon when she was last seen, and they searched for a little bit and then reported her missing.
How many hours would you say?
So that's strange too. She says prior to that it was early afternoon when she was last seen. That aligns with so it was 2:30 when they dropped Hunter off, is what Allie says. So that makes sense. So 2:30, well, that's what Allie says. Well, she's also, the video was taken of Summer at 3:08 when she was in the back seat sleeping. So that's the last time there was video of her that she was sleeping, but some people think she wasn't sleeping. So there's debate about that. She's saying the last time she was, let's hear that one more time. I know she's trying to be really careful with her words here, so.
Prior to that, it was early afternoon when she was last seen, and they searched for a little bit and then reported her missing.
How many hours would you say?
I don't have that information.
Question for Captain or Sheriff, what's the biggest obstacle standing in your way? Is it the heat? Is it just the fatigue? Is it the terrain? What do you think is the number one thing that's hurting you guys in this investigation?
To say hurt in this investigation on my aspect of things, nothing's hurting us. We encounter difficult situations so far, and we overcome situations. From here on out, it is going to be providing our team the rest and assurance to make sure that we can provide more and more fresh body, fresh eyes to be able to come in and help search for Summerwells.
As far as my office, it's been pretty hard because my office don't stop. We're still answering calls, we're still doing investigations that come in, and we're still running the jail, but I'm alternating the officers out. And like's been said, everyone, the command post's been there this week, everyone now is getting mentally, physically, and emotionally just drained. And we're going to have to rehab and start back again. But
I gotta be honest, you guys, I'm like disappointed. I mean, I'm glad that they're out there searching today and this week and stuff, but like, I really thought that they would have more of a clue here. Like, what the heck? Like, it seems like they have no idea. It seems like they're like day 2 or day 1. Hi, Francistine. Like, what is going on here, you guys? Is it like, don't they have, like, they said they haven't got any warrants. They said they haven't had to, but why not? Why haven't they? They haven't had a single suspicious person, like let's say Sherfy Jr., any of the RS, what's the abbreviation? RSO around the neighborhood. Any of those guys, they couldn't get a warrant. I mean, so why are they just just a little bit? I mean,
gonna stop
I'm
and
not
find something.
criticizing them. I don't know anything. I'm just just a girl behind a computer. But
Actually, I think they've done everything they possibly could,
um,
including getting fresh home cooked meals from churches and things brought in, and we have meals for all the officers, searchers, and investigators. But
man,
enormous outpour of support shown by this community and actually people here in East Tennessee. We're very pleased.
Hey guys, thank you for coming out. I know a couple of you had questions asking why we are not having daily media briefings. The simple answer is we just haven't had any new information to provide. But just because we don't have a briefing doesn't mean that you can't reach out to us and ask any questions.
sorry, they haven't had any new information to provide in 8 months. None. But what exactly are they doing?
You may have. And of course, we are going to continue to post updates on Twitter and the TBI Facebook page. And feel free to check with us if you have any additional questions or need clarification. Thank you. Take care.
Wow. Okay, so that's that. And let's see. Okay, so what do you guys think? What do you guys think of that press conference? What do you guys make of that? My opinion is that I'm relieved that they're searching. I'm disappointed that they don't know more, or maybe they're just not telling us what they do know. Innocent until proven guilty. Not sure they have, probably won't publicate it.